1 Kings chapter 14. At this time, Abiah, the son of Jeroboam, fell ill. Jeroboam said to his wife, "Please come and disguise yourself, so that you won't be recognized as Jeroboam's wife, and go to Shiloh. Achiah the prophet is there, and the one who said that I would be king over these people. Take with you 10 loaves of bread, some cakes, and a jug of honey, and go to him. He will tell you what will happen to the boy." Jeroboam's wife did this. She set out, went to Shiloh, and arrived at the house of Achiah. Now Achiah could not see, because his eyes were dim with age. Adonai had told Achiah, "Jeroboam's wife is on her way to you to ask about her son, who is ill. You are to tell her thus and thus. Moreover, when she comes, she will be pretending she is another woman." When Achiah heard the sound of her feet as she came in the door, he said, "Enter, wife of Jeroboam. Why pretend you are someone else? I've been given bad news for you. Go tell Jeroboam that this is what Adonai says. I raised you up from among the people, made you prince over my people Israel, tore the kingdom away from the dynasty of David, and gave it to you. In spite of this, you have not been like my servant David, who obeyed my mitzvot and followed me with all his heart, so that he could do only what I regarded as right. Rather, you have committed more evil than anyone before you. You went and made other gods for yourself and images of cast metal to make me angry, but me you shoved behind your back. Therefore, I will now bring disaster on the house of Jeroboam. I will cut off every male of Jeroboam's line, whether slave or free, in Israel. I will sweep away the house of Jeroboam as completely as when someone sweeps away dung until it's all gone. If someone from the line of Jeroboam dies in the city, the dogs will eat him. If he dies in the countryside, the vultures will eat him. For Adonai has said it. So get up and go home. When your feet enter the city, the boy will die. All Israel will mourn him, and they will bury him. He is the only one of Jeroboam's line who will lie in grave, because he alone is in the house of Jeroboam, has in him an element of good toward Adonai, the God of Israel. Moreover, Adonai will raise up for himself a king over Israel, who at that time will cut off the house of Jeroboam. And what will God do now? Adonai will strike Israel until it shakes like a reed in the water. He will uproot Israel from this good land which he gave to their ancestors, and scatter them beyond the Euphrates River, because they made sacred poles for themselves, thus making Adonai angry. He will give up on Israel because of the sins of Jeroboam, which he committed himself, and with which he made Israel sin as well. Jeroboam's wife got up, left, and went to Tirzah. The moment she returned the threshold of the house, the boy died. All Israel buried him and mourned him, in keeping with the word of Adonai spoken through his servant Achiah the prophet. Other activities of Jeroboam, how he fought and how he ruled, are recorded in the annals of the kings of Israel. Jeroboam's reign lasted 22 years. Then he slept with his ancestors, and Nadav his son became king in his place. Rechavam, the son of Shlomo, was reigning in Yehudah. Rechavam was 41 years old when he began to rule, and he ruled 17 years in Yerushalayim, the city Adonai had chosen from all the tribes of Israel to bear his name. His mother's name was Naamah the Ammonite. Yehudah did what was evil from Adonai's perspective. They made him angry because of their sins, which were worse than any their ancestors had committed. For they erected high places, standing stones, and sacred poles on every high hill and under every green tree. Also there were male and female cult prostitutes in the land attached to these shrines, doing all the disgusting things which the nations did that Adonai had expelled ahead of the people of Israel. In the 5th year of King Rechavam, Shishak, king of Egypt, attacked Yerushalayim. He took the treasures in the house of Adonai and the treasures in the royal palace. He took everything, including all the gold shields Shlomo had made, to replace them. King Rechavam made shields of bronze, which he entrusted to the commanders of the contingent guard the gate to the royal palace. Wherever the king went to the house of Adonai, the guard would get the shields. Later they would return them to the guard room. Other activities of Rechavam and all his accomplishments are recorded in the annals of the kings of Yehudah. But there was continual war between Rechavam and Jeroboam. Rechavam slept with his ancestors and was buried with his ancestors in the city of David. His mother's name was Naamah the Ammonite. Then Abiam, his son, became king in his place.